one of the things we're going to do is we're just going to call out this channel. We're going to call it out right off the bat because I don't know what it is. But guess what? I do know what it is. I know what it is. Okay, let me tell you something. I know what it is because it's so stupid. So since it's like it's stupid, I know exactly what it is, okay? All right. I'm going to be a person, I'm going to be a person talking about Zelda. This is who this person is, this YouTube channel. And it's like, they have literally 51,000 people on it. And Tears of Kingdom's a new game. It's a new game. But they have 51,000 people looking at this. And this is going to explain to you why I'm just like, I just don't care, I just don't, I really don't. I don't care that you have resources to research. It's just, you need to research better, Okay, so I circled it. I made it easy too to understand, okay, because I needed to circle it, okay? So I circled Demise, right? You have Ganondorf, you have Ganondorf Wind Waker, okay? All right, and I'm simplifying. I'm not even giving you a list of them. Do you know how many bosses there are throughout the Zelda series? Do you really know how many bosses there are in the game? There's a ton. There's a lot. Oh my gosh, dude, why? Okay, so here's Bellum. Here's Nightmare. I'm gonna shock you too. If you can pay attention to me, I'm gonna shock you a little bit on this because I already know what they're doing. But hold on a sec. So here's all these names, right? Okay. Why do we bring up Bellum and why do we bring up Nightmare? It's to make a good point, okay? Phantom Hourglass has Bellum, Nightmare, and Link's Awakening. Okay, so let's just get into it, okay? This game has so many things in it. It has Dark Link. It has Dark Link coming again in Oracle. A game made by Capcom. Do you know what I mean? A game made by Capcom. We're not just talking about being made by Nintendo and it being a Zelda game. It's made by Capcom. If you don't know who Capcom is the reason we have Resident Evil, Bomberman, completely different things. But you just jump to a conclusion, and this is the poor example of somebody jumping to a conclusion. This is somebody that is playing Zelda and is literally just, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I don't know where to begin. Okay, there's a Sony fan base, okay? There's Sony fan base. But this is the problem. This is not fanboyism. This is not your devotion to a video game. Okay, this is not a devotion to your video game. This is telling you what you're actually talking about, okay? So okay, if you want to get into a video game series and you want to talk about the video game, you're going to have to research. You're going to have to do some things. I mean, different people, Bomberman is completely different. It's like, come on, man, Bomberman. And then you've got Resident Evil. What are you're not really thinking, and you need to think, and you need to sit there, and if you gotta know what you're talking about. You gotta be oh, I've played this game. I know this game. I know the basis of this game. And even though there's some parts I don't like in this game, right? There's some parts I may not like in this game. It does not mean I ignore it, because when I do ignore it, and then I make a stupid video, that's all they do. They just make a dumb clickbait video. They make this dumb clickbait video. We've seen clickbait videos. We've gotten used to clickbait videos, and it's not even an insult towards them. It's just yo, dude, nobody's gonna click on that video. We're tired of you just plopping it there. So what's the problem with Demise? Okay, let me tell you. And this is not even fanboyism or anything. This is just telling you something, okay? You have not understood Skyward Sword. You will never understand Skyward Sword. It's obvious that you just don't get it. You don't get what Skyward Sword is. You don't know what it is. You're the guy that skipped making the shield. You're the guy that like literally didn't get all the pieces for the shield. Skip that. And you're the guy that's somewhere in your head thinking like, I have to be critical, because this guy named, I don't even know what his name is. What is his name? See what I mean? I don't even remember this guy. What's his name? He was reviewing Zelda, but like, you don't get it. He was reviewing Zelda. Morgan Webb was reviewing Zelda. All the people were going towards a different thing, and it's really simple too, because just like, I don't know, these 3D Mario games make other people with these critical opinions and all that. But that's not even the point that we're talking about. We're talking about, okay, so you got all this Ganondorf stuff. Oh my gosh, you got all this Ganondorf stuff in Tears of Kingdom. Okay, this is very confusing, but that's what I'm saying. You just got to be patient. Breath of the Wild has a completely different character. Completely different. Same with Skyward Sword. If you're wondering why the heck Demise, okay, what if you really want to know the nerdiness, the mystery behind Demise, okay, let me tell you something, okay? The game tries so hard to let you know it's a different character, it's different, and it's all different. And like, it does so many things that are different. Like, it has Fee, it has Garium, okay? So it has Fee, Garium. It's not an emphasis like Ocarina of Time had its own emphasis. Emphasis. I can't pronounce it. Emphasis. It had its own plot, okay? Its own plot of just Ganondorf, Zelda, Link. And that's why, that's why Majora's Mask also has, like, Enuma tries to tell people simply that it's like a good mistake. Like Majora's Mask is haunted in, you see only visions of Princess Zelda. In Majora's Mask, you're not seeing Princess Zelda. You're actually seeing a whole entire different kind of world. But we didn't even put Majora on this list. You know what I'm saying? We didn't put Majora on this list. But we're just trying to tell you how complex it is. Okay, so 3 characters of the Triforce, right? Okay, like for Ocarina of Time, okay? And there's a lot of people that like Ocarina of Time, and there's a lot of people that kind of like Ocarina of Time, and there's people that just don't like Ocarina of Time, That's just like a general thing. But like, okay, so let me put it this way to you, okay? So it's not like straightforward stupid for you. I'm sorry to break your little heart, but it's just not like straightforward stupid. Like you can't take Ocarina of Time and you can't take that game and you can't connect it directly with Zelda Wind Waker, because Zelda Wind Waker, oh my gosh, Zelda Wind Waker is very creepy. I have not been able to even get like in a fraction or a percentage of that, but I have played a lot of Wind Waker, but like I haven't gotten a percentage of that. Well, let me tell you something, okay? So a common thing that they can do is they could call it Ganon, okay? They could call it Ganondorf, okay? They could call it all kinds of things. The Calamity Ganon thing should have been enough for you to get the picture, because Calamity was a whole entire different thing. Now, Demise. Oh my gosh, Demise. Okay, you got to realize that Zelda is not a pleasant game. It's not a nice game. It's not a friendly game. It's not your typical hero beats the bad guy game. It's not that. It's not even close to that. It's a whole entire different. You really got to put a lot of study into it. I mean, like Wind Waker tells you a hero of wind instead of a hero of time. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hello, it's a hero of wind, not a hero of time. It's straightforward and scary. It's not meant for it to be easy. Okay, but Demise. Okay. Oh my gosh, Demise is just done is really done well. It's really done well because okay, so you have to make a demon lord. Okay, you have to make a demon lord. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like some people are really so clueless that they're like, Link's an elf, right? Like Link's an elf, isn't he? No, he's not even an elf. We haven't even gotten like a full confirmation that he's a demon. We really haven't. Because he's just in different timelines and different things. So sometimes they'll just change it really quick. They have examples of him with human ears, like spirit tracks. They have examples with him with human ears. But this is why it's so hard, dude. I just gotta say it's really hard, and you gotta understand it, okay? A human body is always going to look similar to a human body, okay? It'd be like you're saying Zant, and instead of putting Demise, you really could have just put Zant, and you would have got more of a connection with Zant being closer to the Ganondorf-Ganon thing. And that's the point. You see, like Ganondorf and Ocarina of Time, the reason he's imprisoned, okay, so the reason that he's imprisoned and he can't escape and all that is because he's part of that timeline, and he's not even really supposed to be a main villain. He really isn't. He's not supposed to be a main villain. He's supposed to be, part of the Gerudo tribe. So basically, he's supposed to be like a different villain, as he was never supposed to be a main villain, but then he ends up turning into a main villain just due to him being lucky and being there at the right time for everything. And also, he's kind of showing that the Triforce can really go to anybody. It just doesn't. There's not like the chosen. There's not only is it just for the chosen ones, right? There's also Ganondorf, who can just, if he really wants to get the Triforce, he can go and get it. Now, they reintroduced him in Wind Waker, and the reason they reintroduced him in Wind Waker is it's hilarious, because that's not even Ganondorf, or that's not even Ganon, not Ganondorf, and then you got a puppet. Do you get like Link's fighting a puppet? You know what I'm saying? Like, and they call it like a Ganondorf Ganon puppet, but it's a puppet. Okay, so that's why the boss is so scary, and that's why you're like looking up at the ceiling, and when it's like coming down and falling down, and it's a better boss battle than even like when you get up to the final up there, because they still try to measure it, because so the whole time the game has you believe that you're gonna go and face him, but you're facing a guy. And keep in mind, in Wind Waker, there's like nothing on the Gerudo stuff. You know what I mean? It's like a whole sea. It's a different character. You're on an island with bird people. You're on an island with the Korok, the Korok stuff. You're like. You're a dragon. You know what I mean? Like, so. Like, they're trying to make it creepy in a different way of like, okay, so they make it so complex because they have so many different games to work with. Like for instance, they have Andross, right? And what do you know about Andross? He too has, hair. He has facial hair. He has, and they even make him different in the GameCube game, which is kind of funny that they make him look different like that. But we also know that he's a robot. You know what I mean? That there's potential he's just a robot system. There's potential he's a floating cube, like a floating cube. And then it's like you're not even like, they say it's Andross, but you're not even like fighting Andross. You're fighting like a and then you have like, you just have so many things, man. You have way too much. It's like blah 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 blah. But it's like, okay, so who's big like Ganon, right? Who is big and fat like Ganon in Wind Waker? Because this is a fatter, like a fatter type of Ganon, and there's a creepy element to that, but we're not getting deep into that. You know what I mean? We're getting into the fact that who's fat, who's big and fat. Donkey Kong, who's big and fat? King Cruel. Like those are like the big characters that are like big and bulky. So every Zelda game is different. It's just like completely different. And they put a lot of things right to you, okay? They put a lot of things. And like I'm telling you, like Wind Waker Link doesn't even, have green tunic clothes. You have to go get his green tunic clothes and all that. So, like when you dumb it down, it doesn't make any sense because, as you know, like on the first island in the game of Wind Waker, you lift up a big. You literally go back to that island and you lift up the big rock, and you're fighting waves and waves of enemies down there, and so when you jump to like your silly little conclusion, like you're just like, oh, I'm gonna jump to my conclusion. It doesn't make sense at all to any of the mystery that's in the game itself. Um, and like, I mean, I know the tough pill to swallow for people. I've seen it. This is gonna be the toughest pill to swallow, but it's just what it is. Um, they're like saying this is Ganondorf in Tears of Kingdom. This is Ganondorf, but that's not Ganondorf. It's like, and it's very funny how they do it because they have Zelda in it. And you can't even confirm that's Link. You can't even confirm that's Link in Tears of Kingdom. You can't confirm it's Link because they're all calling it Link, But we have a huge confirmation that this is Zelda, and that's why Zelda was so scary in Tears of Kingdom. That's why she was like so like up to date kind of nonsense with like talking about cell phones, taking pictures and everything. But yeah, so like they're like don't think too much into it because sometimes you think too much into it. Like okay, so at first he looks like Ganondorf, right? So at first he looks like Ganondorf in Tears of Kingdom, okay? And then when he turns into his other form, you see him looking like the Calamity and all different kinds of things. Not even like Calamity. We're just using Calamity as an example, okay? But you gotta play Breath of the Wild 1, and you don't. People just they don't play Breath of the Wild 1. Do they realize that Lamia's in there? And who the heck is Lamia? How about you do that? How about you search what Lamia is? Okay, seriously, I'm serious. Search up Lamia. I'm doing that the nicest way I can. I can't get into full detail about that, but take Lamia, the word Lamia, which is like LA, do that, type that in and see what that is. See what that is before you like just be like, oh, this right here, man, I'm telling you. These three go together. No. And the bulkiness, like, oh my gosh, that was the funny part too. So Tears of Kingdom was a new game, right? And they were like, man, we can make this fake. It did the Phantom. They even added the Phantom in that game. They added the Phantom stuff, but the Phantom stuff is to screw with you once again because they know. Nintendo knows your ever-dying love for Ocarina of Time. They know your ever-dying love for Majora's Mask. They know your ever-dying love for Link to the Past. They know your ever-dying. They know like the different kind of people that they're working with, like consumer-wise. Okay, so but it's really funny what they're doing now. It's really funny what they're doing now because it's like. You don't even care about the troll of a person who plays Xbox or plays Sony. You don't care about that troll. You don't care about like an Xbox fanboy, a Sony fanboy. You don't. What you care about essentially. Oh my gosh! What you care about is that they're finding like a loophole. Okay. For you to join their system and play an online video game with. That's all it is at the end of the day. At the end of the day, they're playing some kind of online video game, and they want you to play that online video game with them. And it's cool. Like if you want to live in a pretend fan art world, no, by all means go to that. If you want to live with like all those fan arts. And sometimes people that's what I'm saying. It's you're allowed to go do that. If you want to go to the Sonic fan art, if you want to go and take your time and make Sonic fan drawings and you want to do that, I'll let you go and do that. You go ahead and do that. I'm like, man, sometimes you could, I think about it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I think about, I could be talking like pointless stuff. I really could. I could be talking pointless stuff. And if I were to talk pointless stuff, okay, they'd listen to it. They would. They'd listen to the pointless stuff because they're like people gave critical reviews to Phantom Hourglass. Yeah, they gave critical reviews on that. And I thought that was very funny because Phantom Hourglass is if you were like ranking the Zelda games, Phantom Hourglass would be up there. And it's because Phantom Hourglass is different. It has a very hard puzzle. It's a very good puzzle. And it's like, it has simplicity, but it has like creepy simplicity. It has like, has even the introduction of, how Princess Zelda is summoning knights, which now, as you know, in the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they're trying to make Link the knight. But, see, that's the thing. They're all different. Like, Princess Zelda is a night summoner, like she's a night summoner in Phantom Hourglass, but in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, she's like trying to have Link as her knight, and there's more of a connection than that. Do you get what I'm saying? There's more of a connection than that than it's funny too. Yes, you can make something look similar, but it's completely different. That is an easy one, and they give you an easy example, almost like they're taunting you, because if you remember the two witches from Ocarina of Time, because clearly you played Ocarina of Time and you love Ocarina of Time, but if you played Ocarina of Time, you know the two witches, they fuse together, right? They look the same. One has fire, one has ice, Yes, you could be fixated on that. You could be fixated on a ton of other topics. You know which topics I'm talking about. Wink, wink. Whatever topics you could think about with that. But like, if you just take and you're like, man, I need to do a breakdown of all three of these, and I need to have Demise, and Demise doesn't even go in with it. Like, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, maybe you can't even make an argument. See, that's what I'm saying. You can't even make an argument with the first boss in Breath of the Wild to be with the second boss. You can't even do that. It's impossible. It's impossible. And because I haven't broke down like future videos. I have not broken down this future detail. I have not put in this future detail. But the Tears of the Kingdom boss, oh man, it's funny too because it's so quick. You know what I mean? It's like so quick. It's like it's quickly made. The game is quickly made, and. It's meant to be that way. It's meant to make you go like, this is a Zelda game. You know what I mean? It's meant for you to be like, this is a Zelda game. And like probably like the only thing that has some Zelda from different Zeldas in the game, that's got to be like the hardest part because even you would think like the Koroks, right? But there's disgusting jokes behind the Koroks, and like you could put a leaf on anything. You know what I'm saying? You could pick up a leaf and put it on anybody's head. So, that's the whole point why a lot of people like Breath of the Wild and they like Tears of the Kingdom because it's also it's going to different people that do not like Zelda games, but they like different kinds of game and they like different kinds of gameplay. Okay, so that's the whole thing behind that. Another thing is they've kind of modeled this whole thing after like a PC game, like a PC game where you're choosing your different weapons, where you're, um, having weapons break, just like building food items and that, so you can, revive your hearts and all that. And building a cooking system and all that, building stuff. But yeah, you're gonna have to see what Zelda Tears of Kingdom really is, and you're gonna have to see what you haven't even seen. Like, this is what I'm saying. People haven't even seen what Zelda Breath of the Wild is. Okay, they have not seen. They just don't. They don't even see what Skyward Sword is. I like. I would even be nice to people and be like, maybe they see something in Twilight Princess, but like, I don't even see things clearly in Twilight Princess. And I'm telling you, like that's all. There's a lot of breakdown to that stuff, and I don't see it clear in Twilight Princess, because you know what Twilight Princess feels like? It feels like Zelda 2. See, and this is a guy telling you about that, what I know about Zelda, okay? What I know about Zelda, and like Zelda Twilight Princess and Zelda 2 have like a strange connection. They have like some kind of strange little connection going on. And like, what else do you need? I mean, Link turning into a wolf, is that good enough for you to know that maybe you're jumping to conclusions and you're not thinking, because you're like, hold on, we had this Zelda game that wasn't too long ago where Link was turning into a wolf and had a partner named Midna. And what did we know about Midna is that Midna was going past the idea of having a fairy, So rather than having fairies with you, you had Midna, and its name is Midna, and it, like, I don't know. They even had it like a midget. You know what I mean? They had it like a midget. That's how confusing it is. Like Midna's a midget, and I'm telling you, like the fat, the fat Ganondorf, man, just like the big bulky fat Ganondorf. Him going up to Link and punching Link in the face. Like, come on, guys. He literally went up to Link and just knocks him out, gives him a straight right hook and knocks him out. And you're like thinking, oh, this has to be Ganon. This has to be Ganondorf. He just knocked me out. Oh, this must be him. Oh my gosh. But like, doesn't that even like come to you as like a human that would just, go up to you, knock you straight in the face? And be like, oh, victory! They thought I was Ganondorf, but I'm not Ganondorf. I'm just a guy that hates Link, and he punches him in the face. That's the real angle of Zelda, dude. Like, Zelda's like not only just a puzzle game; it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle of you trying to figure out what's in front of you, and like. Even Ocarina of Time, even when it says to you, these are the three characters, guess what it also has three? It has three gems. And what are those three gems? Din's Fire, Faru, and Naru. And that, like, Naru's a barrier, dude. It's a barrier. And I was trying to tell you, Andros, like Andros being like a robot and then being like a brain and being like a flipping cube. Being a projected cube, you know what I'm saying? And then you're just like, well, what is Andros? And then you're kind of like, you're forgetting the fact that the person that tell you to say, go get Andros, right? Go get Andros, Star Fox, is a general. And the general's probably just like, no, go get him. We don't know what his name is, but go get Andros. And you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe that makes sense. Maybe they're like, oh, gee, we need to come up with a name because we don't know who this is, so we'll call it Andros. And maybe there's only one Andros in the whole entire Star Fox series, and they're all they're all robot characters. All the Star Fox characters are like robots, so they're not animals. They're robots. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like just you need to get brains screwed, because yes, he looks like Falco in Breath of the Wild. He looks like Falco, but is that Falco? You know what I mean? Is it Falco? Yeah. So yeah, you just have to Two different games. We're not talking about games colliding together of the same series. We're talking about two different games, Star Fox and Zelda. Okay? Yeah.